All right, Liz, back
What's
for
up?
another conversation.
Here we are.
Talking about friendship, talking about community and relationships. And, there's a lot of talk about just kind of being present with one another.
Yeah.
And, my family and I like to try to eat together as much as we possibly can. But how often do you spend time gathered around a table with either your family or friends? I mean, how often do you do
Me
that?
personally?
Yeah, you personally, yeah.
Okay.
I'll ask you.
Okay. So I'll say it varies.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Different seasons of life and all of the things. But we try to gather around the table for dinner at night. Now, Braden has gone off to school. Things just look different in our family right now. But I think that we can make a lot of excuses and we can say that there's a lot of obstacles that come in the way of gathering around a table. And some of them are legitimate for sure.
Yeah. Activities,
But
busyness, all that stuff.
all
right?
that stuff. But I think it's important to realize those obstacles, call them out for what they are, and then figure out what you're going to do about
I
it.
agree.
Because gathering around a table is actually so valuable.
Yeah, it is.
It's so important, and it's some of our sweetest memories as family, and it's some of our sweetest memories with my friends as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think, Cynthia and I, we love having people over, but for a time in our lives, especially when our kids were smaller, we were always just felt bad that the house was messy, or
Right.
we just couldn't really bring the perfect look to invite people in. And I feel like we actually missed out on some opportunity because we were like, well, it's not perfect, so we'll just not do anything.
Agreed. I think that especially in our culture today, we miss so much of the blessing because as much as it can bless other people, it really is a blessing. Like you said, you and Cynthia love to have people over. We miss the blessing because we get so caught up in the impressing part of it. Where if things aren't just right, our house isn't clean, my meal isn't perfect, then we just take the easy road and we're like, we're just not going to do it right now. And there's just this element that we have added, I think, to hospitality of perfection.
Yes.
And nowhere in the Bible do we see an element of perfection.
You know whose fault it is?
Whose?
Pinterest.
I love that.
Our
because
generation
you sound a little
Pinterest.
bit old now because I feel
it's Pinterest's fault, okay? They made us think that we could make everything perfect.
You are exactly right,
yeah.
which is why we now have Pinterest fails.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because real people,
they
can't do that kind of thing.
See, I wouldn't know anything about that because I'm not that cool, but...
I was going to say because you're not on Pinterest.
Well, that too. That too. You were talking about, though, the other day about something Chick-fil-A's been doing.
Oh, this is the coolest thing. Yeah, I don't know if our Chick-fil-A here is doing it yet, they need to get on board if they're not. And I don't even remember where I heard it, but I heard that Chick-fil-A is doing this thing where they've put a basket at each of their tables inside their restaurants. And they're encouraging people to drop their cell phones into the basket at the table. And if everyone at the table can go the entire meal without touching their phone, then you get, I think it's a free dessert or something like that.
Man.
So there's, and
3% of the people have been able to get the dessert, I'm sure, right?
Right. and those are the ones that are being honest.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, that's incredible.
But it's incredible, and it's also so eye-opening to think this has become such an issue in our culture where you can physically be there at the table together, but are you really present there at the table
and
together?
How much do you not even notice it when you're not present? Because we're just so used to grabbing our phone.
To it.
It's funny, my wife and I will I'll get mad at her for being on her phone, and then I'll be on my phone. And then she'll be mad at me. It's this whole thing. And it's because you don't see what you're putting off is no, I'd rather be on my phone than have this conversation. So being around the table is so important.
It's so important. And physically, but also very presently at the table. And it goes back to, even like we talked about last week in our first episode, where we were, created for community. It's also so natural for people to gather around a table, and it's actually necessary. It's not even just something we should do or we're encouraged to do. It's actually something that's so necessary for our well-being.
It's been happening for thousands of years.
Thousands of years. And actually, Mayo Clinic did a study, and they came out with this claim that says face-to-face, so that's an important aspect too, face-to-face communal dining is tied to lower stress levels and is just as vital to human well-being as diet and exercise.
That's crazy.
Right?
That's crazy. Which kind of supports the study we talked about from the Harvard one, that
Absolutely.
like relationship, face-to-face relationship is healthy for you.
Yes.
You need it.
It's like, it's how we were created.
Man.
We just kind of keep going back to that. And then like when we look at the Bible too, it's so obvious. If you really even just do like a quick overview of the Gospels, you see so much of Jesus's time spent here was gathered with people. And so many times it was gathered with people at a meal, around a table.
Not just because he was hungry, right?
Well, yeah, probably not. No,
probably not that.
Probably not.
There's probably more importance to just
Probably.
the hunger part. He might have been hungry though too.
I mean, for sure.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, we have to eat, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But might as well eat with people.
You should definitely eat
Sorry.
with people.
Sorry, Liz. I know you're trying to make a point.
I am, and it's a really good
It
one.
is a good
Would
one.
you
We're
just
gonna
let me
get
go?
there. I might.
So I read that roughly 43% of the narrative scenes that show Jesus in action, they occur either at a table or in a home or around food.
Okay.
So almost half
Okay.
of all of the actionable
Yeah.
narratives of Jesus are around food,
That's
a
so
table. Yeah.
Don't you ever just wish, like, there's other cultures in our world that, like, this is so important. And I feel like
Yes.
America, we've just gotten to this point where, like, eating is just a means to an end. It's like, we just got to eat. Like,
I mean,
let's just
fast
eat.
food.
I
Let's talk
know.
about that. Like you can just drive through
Like,
and
there's
go
some
get your
countries
meal.
they'll just, like, take a 3-hour lunch. That's what I want to do. I might do that today, actually.
Yes. Well, I mean, like even over, in Europe, I mean, you literally sit at a table with people and like with
love it.
tapas and they
Yes.
do the family style.
We all want that. Let's just start doing it.
Let's do it.
Oh, man.
Let's start with you and me.
Yep. Let's do this. Let's
Okay.
do this. We're going to invite
Let's
people. We're going to have a
do-
3-hour lunch. It's going to be great.
Yeah, that might be hard to pass.
That
but
might be. Okay.
yeah, maybe on the weekends.
Yeah.
Well, on Saturday. Not on Sunday. But
Love it.
I also think it's so beautiful and impactful to see that with Jesus, one of the very last things he did before he went to the cross was what?
He ate with his disciples, his
Right.
closest friends.
His closest friends. He spent time
Yep.
and shared a meal with his
Yep.
closest friends. But then you look too, and one of the last recorded things he did before ascending to heaven after the resurrection was again, he shared a meal
He did.
with his friends.
And some of the most important conversations we heard him have with his disciples were around the dinner table.
And I think it's important to note too, he wasn't always with his friends around the table,
That's
right?
a good point. Yes, that's true.
I mean, he went and he invited people in, or he
Yeah.
invited himself in
Yeah.
to people's homes as well, that nobody else, I mean, the other, of the Jewish community would ever consider even entertaining the
Yeah.
idea.
Man.
The sinners, the tax collectors, and Jesus met them at the table.
Yeah, it's important to think about who are those people in our lives, that like we could invite in that we just wouldn't naturally
Right.
do that with. Oh man, that's so important. Love that. And it's so cool to get an invite. I just got an invite to some friends or some people from the church. They invited our family over for dinner tomorrow night. And
Awesome.
it's just such a good feeling. It's such a blessing to be invited into someone else's home. I think
It
it's so cool.
absolutely,
huge.
it absolutely is.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. And so I think a couple of things to, I guess, take mention or to think about, because again, we talked about there's so many obstacles and you can make so many excuses. So to realize those, and then what are you going to do about them?
Yeah.
And so I think one thing to really keep in mind is in life, you have to keep in mind space and spaces in terms of like, you have to give yourself personal time, personal space, because if we aren't feeling filled and we don't have anything left to give, then
That's
we're
good.
not going to be open to,
Yep.
inviting other people in. So we got to take care of ourselves is
Yep.
basically
Yep.
what I'm
Yep.
saying. You
Yep.
got to take care of yourselves so that you can be open to taking care of
That's good.
other people. And then I think too, with spaces, like get creative.
Yes.
Like, you mentioned like if our house isn't clean and like all the things, well, does it have to be at your house?
Go to a park.
Go to a park, have
Yeah.
a picnic,
Yeah.
meet at a coffee shop.
Right.
I mean,
Yep.
you're still sitting at a table, drinking a cup of coffee together.
Exactly.
There's so
Love
many
that.
ways that, that you can do that. And also, if you're not a good cook, that's okay, because we can order takeout.
That's true.
And you can order delivery.
We might shame you a little bit, but
Yeah,
I mean, really,
I would
you should be
expect
able
you-
to cook. I just gotta, I'm just gonna throw that out there.
You should be able to
If
cook.
you can't cook, just figure it out.
How often do you cook, Anthony?
As much as my wife will allow.
And why doesn't she want you to cook? Is it because you're
that's
not?
neither here nor there.
Okay.
doesn't matter.
We'll dig into that later. I'm so interested to know. And then also, I think we talk when we talk about gathering at a table, our initial thought, I mean, maybe I'll say my initial thought is the dinner table, right?
Yeah,
Like come
sure.
together at the dinner table. But I know that that's not always
Mm-hmm.
realistic for a lot of families. Like at the beginning, when you're like, how often do you gather at the table? And
Yeah.
I was like, whew, it feels a little like pointed right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
like.
You did get a little defensive.
I
noticed,
did.
yeah.
Well, because it's kind of like, oh, how often do we gather at the table? But to have grace for yourself in different seasons of life,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
And I know,
absolutely.
like, when our kids were teenagers and had so many extracurricular things, did it, in the evenings, it was hard. It was hard to do dinner. So it's really cool because we established this, and it was really my husband, Saturday morning pancakes.
Yeah.
And so he makes pancakes from scratch every Saturday morning, and we gather around
Nice.
and we eat pancakes. And that has become such a special time for our
Yeah,
family.
yeah.
And so even if it's not dinner every night, we have that to look forward
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, it's creating those moments. It doesn't always have to be quantity, right?
Right.
But there's quality,
The quality.
built-in moments in your regular rhythms. So important.
Exactly.
Love that.
Exactly. Like
Yep.
it doesn't have to look a certain way, I guess, is the thing. And we can so easily talk ourselves out of it if we think it doesn't look right. But get creative and make
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it work for you.
Yeah. Well, I think one way for us to kind of challenge ourselves in this is just to be thinking about, practical ways that you can use your table, or when we, again, quote unquote, your table. That could be a picnic table. That could be whatever, to serve God in the next month, right?
good.
So, dinner with neighbors, right? We could do game night with family and friends. You could do a
Because that's at a table,
yeah,
right?
invite outsiders into your table, or at your table like Jesus did, or just walk up into somebody's house like Jesus did. Maybe don't do that.
Yeah, at this
That
day and
might
age,
not
I don't know if
actually-
that's the best
that might not-
idea.
that might not.
Yeah,
slide,
maybe
but-
knock first.
Knock. You could knock.
Yeah,
for sure.
for sure.
So those are some ways that we could be a little bit more intentional about this.
And I think that's the point there is
Yes.
intentionality.
Yep,
Like you
agreed.
got to be intentional.
Yep. So we got to talk.
Yeah.
Now it's those that are watching and listening. Time to sit around, whether they're at a table or just in a circle or a small group, to talk about these questions here. So what are some of your strongest memories of gathering around a table?
I love it.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of stories. You can take some time on that.
For sure.
Why do you think meals and tables play such a prominent role in human relationships across cultures?
You mentioned this earlier.
Yeah.
Like so many other cultures, I think probably do it better than we do, for sure. But like, why? Why is that
Yeah.
such a prominent thing?
Good question. How does the practice of eating together anticipate? This is good. This is heady, though.
This is heady.
How does the practice of eating together anticipate the future fellowship believers will enjoy in God's kingdom?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, this has been good. I'm excited for the next one.
Me too.
All right.